Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, I'm doing a detailed review of the Costco Kirkland Signature 10.0T hearing aid. Coming up. Costco is one of the fastest growing dispensers of hearing aids in the United States and perhaps even the entire world. And this is in large part due to the fact that they sell good hearing aids at really low prices. And this includes their new Kirkland Signature 10.0T hearing aids manufactured by Sonova. The manufacturer of the Kirkland Signature brand of hearing aid has changed over the years, shifting between Resound, Rexton, and Sonova. And the most recent iteration of this device, the Signature 9.0, was manufactured by Sonova as well, and it more closely resembled the Phonak Audeo Marvel hearing aid. And the new 10.0T more closely resembles the Phonak Audeo Paradise Rechargeable with Telecoil hearing aid, with a few key differences that I'll get into in this review. However, before I go ahead and get into the review of the Costco Kirkland Signature 10.0T hearing aid, if you could do me a huge favor and click the like button, it really helps out my channel because it helps these videos get in front of a bigger audience. And while you're at it, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button with notification bell, I highly recommend that you go ahead and do that right now, because that ensures that you never miss one of my newly released videos. That being said, let's go ahead and start with the review. One disclaimer that I have to give in every single one of my hearing aid review videos is that it does not matter how awesome any hearing aid is that I talk about on this channel unless you have a hearing care professional who properly fits and programs your hearing aids following best practices. Now, if you do not know what best practices are, I highly recommend that you check out my video that I will link in the description, because it is the only way to ensure that you maximize your performance with any hearing aid. The Phonak Audeo Paradise RT hearing aid that the Kirkland Signature 10.0T hearing aid is based upon is not the most recent release from Phonak. That title belongs to the Phonak Audeo Life hearing aid, but the Phonak Audeo Paradise hearing aid is still a very good hearing aid, even though it's an older technology. Now, like I said before, the Costco Kirkland Signature 10.0T hearing aid, that I will now refer to as the KS10 from here on out, is very similar to the Phonak Audeo Paradise Rechargeable with Telecoil hearing aid at the Tier 190 technology level. If you just have a simple look at the spec sheets, you would be hard-pressed to find a difference between these two hearing aids. In fact, they were nearly identical until the most recent firmware update that Phonak did for their Paradise line of devices that the Kirkland hearing aids did not receive. As far as what they look like, they are on the bigger side, just like the Phonak Audeo PRT, because they have a rechargeable battery and a telecoil. If you are looking for a really small hearing aid, you are going to instead want to find a hearing aid that uses a size 312 battery and does not have a telecoil. The KS10 comes in a variety of different colors. This one here is more of like a sandalwood color, and it matches my hair color pretty well, so I like that. You can match it to your skin color too as well. And when I wear it, you know, I can tell it's a little bit on the bulkier side compared to a size 312 hearing aid, but it doesn't feel bad at all. And I think that it's something that you would eventually get used to if you have a decent amount of space behind your ears, and especially if you don't wear glasses that compete for some of that real estate behind your ears. Since I've already mentioned the fact that the KS10 is rechargeable, let's go ahead and talk about that feature first. Unlike the Phonak Audeo Paradise line of devices, you only have the option of rechargeable with the KS10, probably because rechargeable hearing aids are becoming extremely popular because they eliminate the need to have to hassle with disposable batteries. The KS10 hearing aid only requires 3 hours inside of the charging case to go from a dead hearing aid up to a 100% full charge hearing aid. And so if you go to bed at night, plug the hearing aid in the charger, and take it out in the morning, it's going to have a full charge with it, which is going to give you 16 plus hours of actual use that next day, which is good enough for the vast majority of hearing aid users. While rechargeable hearing aids are great and extremely convenient, I have noticed in my clinic that rechargeable hearing aids tend to go in for repair about a third more often. So you end up running into definitely more mechanical issues with a rechargeable lithium battery than you do with a disposable battery, so you have to take that into account. Not to mention, if you happen to accidentally leave your charger at home when you leave town for a trip, you are basically out of luck. You're not going to be able to stop by a convenience store and just pick up a pack of disposable batteries and use those instead. You have to have your charger to charge these particular hearing aids. This model of rechargeable hearing aid does not use inductive charging, so you are going to have battery contacts on the bottom of this device. I think you can see them right there, those two shiny prongs on the bottom. And you want to keep those clean, because if you end up getting those dirty and then you introduce those into the charging case, you're going to build up a lot of grime, and it's going to lead to issues with actually charging the devices. On top of that, this particular type and model of device is not the best for individuals with finger dexterity issues or finger strength issues, because in order to keep it locked in and making contact with the actual charging prongs inside of there, they have to kind of lock it in. So it can be tougher for someone to actually remove this from the charging case compared to an inductive charged hearing aid that just uses a light magnetization. Now, there is a difference between the KS10 charging case and the Phonak Audeo Paradise charging case. If you look at the KS10 case, you just see that the lid here has this open well. But if you look at the Phonak Audeo Paradise lid, it actually has a spot for a desiccant that allows you to dehydrate your hearing aids while you're charging them. Now, the KS10 has not been around for that long at this point, so I don't know if they're going to have issues with moisture buildup inside of them. All hearing aids are suspect to moisture buildup to some degree, but let's just hope that it isn't an issue with the KS10, because they do not have a desiccant in the lid of their charger. Now, the other thing that's really nice about having a rechargeable hearing aid inside of the KS10 is that it gives you access to tap control and motion sensor hearing. Like the Phonak Audeo Paradise Rechargeable hearing aids, tap control lets you double tap your hearing aid, which allows you to answer phone calls or hang up on phone calls when you're done talking to the person on the other end of the line. It lets you pause and start streaming from your smart device, and it also lets you activate your voice assistant. This is currently one of my favorite features, as long as you're good at double tapping your ear, because if you're not good at double tapping your ear, it leads to missed phone calls, and it also leads to you activating your voice assistant by accident. While the KS10 does have this tap control feature in common with the Phonak Audeo Paradise Rechargeable hearing aids, there is one difference, and that is the fact that you can actually go in and change the sensitivity of the tap control with the Phonak Audeo Paradise hearing aids that you cannot do with the KS10. So either you're going to have to just learn how to tap your ear the way that the KS10 wants you to tap your ear, or you're just going to have to disable the feature altogether. Another thing that I love about the KS10 hearing aids is that they have a telecoil inside of them. Unlike a lot of hearing aid manufacturers that are starting to get away from telecoils a little bit because they're seen as being out of date, you still get that inside of the KS10, which can help out a lot if you're talking on a landline phone that is telecoil enabled, because it can pull the voice of the person you're talking to directly into your hearing aid, which can help you out a lot. But it also lets you gain access to an induction loop, otherwise known as a hearing loop, inside of a public venue. So if you happen to go to movie theaters or live performance theater or churches that have an induction loop built in, you're going to be able to tap into that wireless audio of that facility and get that sound directly into your hearing aids. Now, since we're talking about wireless audio streaming already, I should go ahead and mention that the KS10 uses Bluetooth Classic that allows you to connect up to 8 different Bluetooth-enabled devices and have 2 of those connections active at the exact same time. So whether you're an Apple user, an Android user, or you want to connect to a tablet or a laptop, you can virtually connect to all of them and send that audio directly into your hearing aids. Your Costco hearing aid provider will ultimately have to choose which hearing aid will be the primary hearing aid that they will connect with your smart device, because the audio will get routed to that one hearing aid and then go from that one hearing aid over to the opposite hearing aid to give you stereo hearing. Now, this does not work like a set of Apple AirPods Pro. So if you take the primary hearing aid off of your ear or you turn it off, it is going to kill the stream of audio to the opposite side. So you have to have that primary hearing aid turned on and in your ears for the other side to work as well. This Bluetooth streaming allows you to send sound wirelessly from your smart device into your hearing aids. So whether you're listening to an audiobook, a podcast, a YouTube video, or whether you're listening to music or just talking on the phone, you get to hear the sound from your smart device in both ears at the same time. For phone calls, you truly can be hands-free, so you do not need your phone on you to be able to answer the phone and talk on the phone. If a phone call comes in, you can simply double tap on your ear to answer, or you can click one of the push buttons on the back of the hearing aid to answer. Then when you're talking to the person who's on the other end of the line, your voice goes into the hearing aids and off to them, so you don't need to actually hold your phone to talk into. The only negative about this is that if you go into a noisy environment, you'll be able to hear the other person fine coming through the hearing aids, but because all that noise gets into the microphones of your devices and gets sent off to them, they're going to have big problems hearing and understanding you. Unfortunately, in order to overcome this problem, you're going to have to either switch it to speakerphone mode so you can use the microphone on your phone itself, or switch it back to where you have to hold the phone up to your ear. It's also worth noting that the quality of streamed music depends on if you have open venting or closed venting. So if you have an open fit hearing aid, the low frequencies are going to leak out of your ear canals and music is going to sound flat. If you have a closed fitting, meaning you're trapping in all of those low frequency sounds, you are going to perceive the bass tones much better, which will give you a much better quality of music appreciation. This is another key difference between the KS10 and the Phonak rechargeable hearing aids, because the Phonak rechargeable hearing aids can also use the active vent receiver, which will open when you're just having normal conversation with individuals, but it will actually close the vent when you're streaming music, so it makes music sound much better, and it actually closes the vent when you go into a noisy situation, which allows directionality to work much better and noise reduction to work much better. Unfortunately, you do not get access to the active vent receiver when you have a KS10 hearing aid at this point. If you want to learn more about the active vent receiver, I do have a review of that particular receiver on my channel as well, and I will link that video in the description. I highly recommend that you watch it because I truly believe that the active vent will be a game changer. That being said, the quality of streamed speech media is actually really good, and I think that it's better than a lot of hearing aid manufacturers out there, even if you're open fit with your hearing aids. Another good thing about the KS10 hearing aids is that they have integrated Roger receivers. Now, these Roger receivers are not activated yet. You actually have to have the receiver software installed into these hearing aids to make it connectable with a Roger remote microphone, but you can purchase those separately and have them uploaded into your KS10 hearing aids. The great thing about having direct access to Roger microphones is that they help you hear significantly better in a background noise situation. So whether or not you clip one of those Roger microphones onto someone's shirt, whether or not you set it in front of them, or whether or not you point it at them, they will all help you hear in a background noise situation significantly better. You can also connect wirelessly to a TV connector, so you can stream the audio directly from your TV into your KS10 hearing aids, and anyone else who's sitting in the room with you will be able to watch the TV and hear the TV at whatever level they prefer as well. In addition to all of these different forms of wireless connectivity, the KS10 also uses Bluetooth Low Energy to connect to the newly updated EasyLine remote app that it gives you remote control functionality and remote support functionality with your Costco provider. As far as the EasyLine remote app goes, it does not currently have all the features of the My Phonak app used with the Phonak PRT, but it does have most of them, including the ability to adjust volume and change between programs that your provider has made for you, or programs that you've made for yourself using the advanced customization section in the bottom right-hand corner of this app. Inside of this section, you can use the quick keys to adjust between treble, which boosts audibility for more clarity, and relax, which reduces audibility for more comfort. Or you can make your own settings changes to include a 3-band equalizer, overall volume, noise reduction, speech focus, and compression settings. Once you save these settings and name the program whatever you want, this customized program will become an option on the Program drop-down menu on the remote control screen. The top right menu gives you access to a variety of different things, including remote support that will allow you to connect to your Costco provider virtually, which is great if you live in an area where access to a Costco is limited. There are other things that you can do inside of the EasyLine Remote app, but in order to do it justice, it really requires its own review video. I should also mention that with all the different wireless capabilities of the KS10, it is not forward compatible with the LE Audio LC3 codec that some other hearing aids are forward compatible with. So whenever this LE Audio comes out in the future, you will not be able to use that form of Bluetooth connectivity with this particular hearing aid. You'll have to upgrade to a different hearing aid that has it. Of course, if you want to learn more about the LE Audio LC3 Bluetooth codec, I will link my video of that in the description below as well. A few other noteworthy features inside of the KS10 hearing aids is Motion Sense Hearing, Speech Boost, Dynamic Noise Manager, and a tinnitus noise generator. Motion Sense Hearing allows the motion sensor inside of your KS10 hearing aids to identify whether you're moving or if you're stationary. And this affects the directionality of the hearing aids in these two different conditions. So if you're sitting down at a restaurant, the hearing aid determines that, oh, okay, you're stationary, so you probably want to be able to hear whoever's in front of you, so it actually activates the directionality to pick up sounds primarily from in front of you. If you get up and you start to leave that restaurant, and of course you're moving at that point, the hearing aid knows that you probably want more situational awareness from 360 degrees, so it can start opening up the directionality of your hearing aids for you. Speech Boost is a feature that allows the KS10 hearing aids to boost soft level speech. So if you're hearing speech between 30 and 50 decibels, that is a very soft level. The Speech Boost feature can increase the amount of amplification by up to 10 decibels, which is essentially a doubling in that amount of volume. Now, this feature is only active in a quiet environment, so if you do happen to go into noisy environments and you're talking to someone who's a soft talker or someone who's wearing a mask, it's not going to help you out a whole lot in those situations. Dynamic Noise Manager helps to cancel out background noise in a noisy environment. Now, this does not improve speech intelligibility, however, it does improve listening effort. Now, to my knowledge, this next feature is something that is a first inside of a Kirkland Signature hearing aid, and that is a tinnitus noise generator. Previously, all of the Kirkland Signature hearing aids have had the tinnitus noise generators removed. This is the first hearing aid that actually keeps the tinnitus noise generator. And this noise generator can be activated by your Costco provider in a variety of different programs that you choose. And while it isn't the best noise generator, I've never been a huge fan of Phonak's noise generator. I've used it on maybe a couple of patients, but all it is basically a white noise that you can control a little bit, and you're basically trading the sound of your tinnitus for the sound of this white static noise. In my opinion, there are other hearing aids out there on the market that have much better noise generators and sound generators in order to mask over tinnitus, but at least you have that option now with the KS10. As far as the overall programmability of the KS10, these hearing aids are really good as long as your Costco provider actually knows what they're doing, because it is very easy to completely screw up a hearing aid that has a whole bunch of different feature sets inside of it. Another thing that you should strongly consider if you want to get a KS10 hearing aid is a custom embedded receiver inside of an ear mold. If you have a really high frequency hearing loss, you are not going to get the best frequency response with an open fit KS10 hearing aid. In my opinion, this is where this device is lacking pretty significantly. There are other hearing aids out there on the market, as well as even inside of Costco, that can significantly hit high frequency prescriptive targets a lot better with just using an open dome. Yes, it will cost you more money to get a custom embedded receiver ear mold, but in my opinion, for a lot of different types of hearing losses, this added expense is well worth it. Speaking of cost, the bulk purchasing power of Costco allows them to sell the KS10 for $13.99 in the United States. And with this comes the charger, a 3-year warranty, and unlimited visits to your Costco hearing center, which is a great value, especially if you have a really good Costco hearing aid provider who provides you with high quality care. If for whatever reason you are just not happy with the KS10s, you have 180 days in the United States. I think this is 90 days in Canada. I'm not exactly sure what this is in different countries, but inside of that time period, you can take the devices back to Costco and get a 100% refund. In order to buy these devices, you do have to be a member of Costco, so you can't just walk in off the street. You're gonna have to sign up for a membership or get added onto a family member or friend's membership in order to actually purchase these devices. That being said, I also have a review of a secret shopping experience at a local Costco hearing center that may be worth your watch as well, that I will also link in the description. Overall, the KS10 is loaded with some really nice features, and despite a few drawbacks, this hearing aid is a really solid hearing aid for most individuals with hearing loss. So if you're new to hearing aids and you don't mind previous generation hearing aid technology, or you happen to be on a very tight budget, the Costco Kirkland Signature 10.0 hearing aid might be a really good option for you. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please share it, and if you want to see other videos just like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to check out my website, drcliffaud.com.